Hey there, and welcome to another logiccloud tutorial. Today we will be looking at how easy it is to have a complete automation station on a device. So we will be installing logiccloud Control, Grafana for historical visualization, and InfluxDB for historical data storage. As a device, we will be using a Kontron Pi-Tron device. So let's get started. First, we will create a new project. We will select the ARM8 platform with the sample configuration. Once the project is created, we have our usual demo configuration, so we will leave everything as it is and we can start a build. Once the build is finished, we'll create the runtime as always, leave everything else, and the next would be to create an InfluxDB connection. To do that, however, we need connection details such as the token that we can only obtain once InfluxDB is running. So we will switch to the terminal and we will connect to the device. Perfect. We will check if we have Docker installed. All right. And if anything is running, it is not. So now we need to install a couple of containers, create a couple of volumes. We could do that by looking at the documentation of each, or I've prepared a short script, as you can see here, that checks for Docker installation and then creates the volumes and runs the containers. So to run that, we can curl it. And we will execute it. All right, so now we can check and we have the containers running. We have InfluxDB, we have Grafana, we have logiccloud and Portainer in case we want a UI if we need to do some management. All right, so now we can go to setting up InfluxDB. We have it running on port 8086, so we can go back to our browser and go to the device itself on port 8086. All right. And now we can get an API token. I will generate a new token and copy it and save it for the meanwhile. Okay, then we can go back to the InfluxDB connection. The URL is the IP of the device, port 8086. The token, the organization that I've set up is logiccloud, and the bucket is called demo. We don't need an enable variable, and we'll log on change. Save this, and now we have the InfluxDB connection set up. So the next thing is we can create the device in the portal. We'll use the Pi-Tron. The vendor is, we can use a generic ARM64 with the remote channel and 1234 a serial number, and save it. We can assign the runtime and copy our token to put it here. we can go now on port 8080 to set up the device. And once this is finished, we can log in with admin and logiccloud. And we can see that we are connected, and we can install the runtime. Alright, once the installation is finished, we can see that everything is running, and we can go to the HMI. Here we can start our process, and we can see that everything is working as expected. When we go back now to the InfluxDB UI and go to the data sources, to the buckets, open the bucket, we don't see anything because we have not mapped anything in the runtime itself. My mistake. So we'll add a mapping, we'll go with the filling, and we will go with the temperature sensor. Save, go back to devices, and upgrade. Now it's upgraded, so we can go back to the HMI, restart, process is running again, and now if we go back to InfluxDB, we can see that we get values in here. Perfect. So next we can go to Grafana. We will go on the port 3000 to open the Grafana UI. And then we can sign in, usually with admin and admin. We don't need a new password, we can skip that for now. And then we can go add a data source. We can use InfluxDB. And we have the device IP. The database is the demo. The user is, in my case, logiccloud, and the password. Alright. We don't have any access yet, so we will go back and we need to add token in front of the token to add it as an authorization header here. And we can save and test again, and we see that we have the connection. Perfect. Now when we go to dashboards, we can create a new dashboard, add a visualization. With InfluxDB we will select the field filling, and we can already see a preview, and we can copy it, duplicate it, and select the temperature sensor. So now we have two values in here. We can say the last 5 minutes, and we will save it. Alright, so we can go back to the dashboard, and we have this panel. Can adjust it in height, like so. And now we can share this. We will go to embed. We will remove the time range. and we will take it like this. And we will also add a and refresh equals 5 seconds, so that we have automatically refreshing values. What we need to change is the localhost. We need to exchange for the IP, and everything else should be fine. We copy this and we go back to the portal. Now we have to adjust our HMI. So we will duplicate the page, call it dashboard. Now we can remove all these elements that we don't want for now. Then next is we will add an iframe component. Place it here, make it the same, roughly the same size, right? And paste in the URL. Next, we need to add a navigation item button. Which we need to place outside this. And this we will go back to default, and we'll call it back to home. We can copy this with Control C, go back here and paste it so we have it on the same position. We'll navigate to the dashboard page and call it dashboard. Save and build again. Once we have this finished, we can update here our runtime with the latest build. And then go back to devices and upgrade our runtime. Right, once this is running again, we can go back to the HMI, refresh the page, and we have now the button to our dashboard. We can start the process here, and when we go back to the dashboard, it loads the dashboard itself, and we have the data coming in. Alright, that should be it for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for the next ones. Thank you very much.